The capture of Superman. What mysterious mastermind is attempting to trap the Man of Steel? Get set for a shock, because it's his longtime partner and buddy, the Batman. Your two favorite heroes, Superman and Batman, in one adventure together. No friends have been closer than Superman, Batman, and Robin, the Boy Wonder. Together, they have faced and triumphed over countless dangers and formidable foes. But now, suddenly, the alliance is split apart as Batman and Robin do everything in their power to bring about the capture of Superman. We've failed several times before, Batman, but this time, you're sure to trap him. One morning, as Clark Kent, secretly Superman, answers his phone at the Daily Planet.
Batman speaking. I need Superman's help. Outskirts of Gotham City. Approaching Globe Iron and Steel Company. It's urgent.
A quick private change, a lightning-fast flight, and mere seconds later, as he approaches his destination... Huh? What's that? Batman, what is it? Where did it come from? I haven't the slightest idea, and we daren't tangle with it. When we approach, flames shoot out at us. Well, since I'm fireproof, they can't bother me. But as he nears the mysterious menace, what's happening now? Suddenly, kryptonite, the only substance that can harm me. This weird mechanism was booby-trapped against me. Feel weak, rapidly losing my superpowers. Batman and Robin daren't help. Flames would scorch them. Must find way. Those wires, they control movement of robot. I must figure out the circuit. Work fast. A split second later, that's the one. Using X-ray vision and super intelligence, I figured out which wire controlled that foot and caused it to kick that kryptonite out of the way. Whew, that was a narrow escape. It sure was. If we only knew what that thing is and where it comes from. I know where it's going. No place. And I know something else. Someone is trying to trap me. Someone who was operating that thing by remote control. You're right. But who? We'll retrieve that kryptonite and dispose of it. Then we'll look for any clues, try to track them down. Meanwhile, be careful. I sure will, pal. After all our hard work, we failed. Yet, we were lucky. Superman didn't notice I was directing that robot with this. Yes, if he suspects we're after him, it will be 1,000 times as hard to get him. What's this? Batman and Robin plotting to trap Superman? Their best friend and crime-fighting ally? That night, as Batman ponders in the Batcave, I have it. A great plan. Bring me that kryptonite. And as he sets to work, it must have a perfectly smooth surface with a circle of green surrounded by white. Next day, after another urgent call, speeds Superman across the city. Batman hinted at something mysterious in the Batcave. Wonder what it could be? The question is answered moments later. Glowing 7-toed footprints. They suddenly start right here and lead that way. And there's no sign of anything entering or leaving. Let's follow them. They lead right toward that trophy. That wax model of a strange beast we encountered during our adventure in Dimension X. Strange. Very strange indeed. All at once, two actions occur simultaneously with eye-blurring speed. Must get out of here. I had to use enough force to bore right through this rock wall. And with Superman gone, Batman removes the beast's eye. How could he guess that this was really a piece of kryptonite? That question is answered in Superman's mind as he emerges some distance away. My super memory suddenly recalled that beast had a red eye, not green. That's the second attempt on me, both involving kryptonite and those two. Batman, why are you trying to trap me? Huh? What are you talking about? Surely you don't think. I definitely do. You and Robin are my best friends. Why are you doing this to me? What you're suggesting is fantastic, Superman. All right, Batman. I can see you won't confide in me. We've bungled again, Batman. Maybe it's because we don't have our hearts in it. I know how you feel, Robin, yet we must catch him. It was only a few days ago. After we three had cornered the drover mob in an isolated area. Superman had left with the crooks when... Look, a spaceship landing here. And as the lone occupant emerged... I come to Earth seeking the criminal Superman. He must be turned over to us to stand trial on my planet. Superman? A criminal? That's ridiculous. Let me show you the evidence so you can judge for yourselves. I have these unusual pictures of his crimes on our planet, Belvos. I can project them against that cliff. Moments later, an awesome scene was displayed. Look, an Earthman who flies like a bird. Who are you? He does not answer. He smashes our bridge. He is evil. Behold, our precious water, brought from other planets to tide us over the dry season. Gone. He is harming us beyond words. But it can't be. There must be a logical explanation. I'll tell Superman about your accusation and... No, since, as I observed a few minutes ago, he trusts you two, you must find a way to capture him. But he must not know why. For if he does, he could use his X-ray vision to find and destroy this evidence. Unless you do precisely as I order, we shall retaliate by using this on your cities. It is effective from hundreds of miles away. I guess we have no choice. Well, now that he suspects, our task will be harder than ever, but not impossible. Tomorrow, Superman is doing a public performance for the Heart Fund Drive. I have an idea. But next day, Batman's idea is doomed to failure as... Oh, my camera! Too hot to hold! Superman must have seen through my disguise and guessed my camera is really a phony. Shortly, in the Batcave. So he guessed that this camera contained kryptonite, which would pop out at him when you took his picture. Yes, and he made me drop it with his heat vision. He's on his guard, all right, and we must think of something extremely clever to trap him. Hours later. I think you've hit on an ingenious idea, Batman. I don't see how we can miss this time. Next night, in the bay of a nearby city. The statue we erected in honor of Green Arrow, which serves as a lighthouse, has been emitting strange radio waves that have interfered with all ship-to-shore messages. We'll have to look into it. Suddenly, great Scott, Arrow's being shot by the statue. Green Arrow is out of the city. We'd better contact Superman to work on this dangerous and puzzling situation. Meanwhile, within the hollow statue, everything's working as you planned. Exactly. This is one trap Superman won't evade. As they expected, the Man of Steel soon approaches. Great guns, I'm getting weak. Can't fly. And instants later, I managed to change kryptonite to kryptonite paint. Spread over the glowing green statue, he never suspected its presence. Let's get him away from here, Robin. This kryptonite-coated bat rope will keep him helpless without harming him. Why are you doing this to me? Later, after Batman and Robin explain what has happened. I'm terribly sorry, Superman. I wanted to tell you. I know, but you couldn't take the chance of the aliens using their weapon. I wonder. I can't recall ever being on the planet you describe, nor do I remember any of those incidents. But several days ago, some astronomers summoned me to point out an asteroid in distant space racing toward Earth. I sped out to investigate, but odd. I'm sure I saw it in this area, yet there's no trace of it. I'll look about a bit more. I never did find that asteroid, but maybe while I was out there, I blacked out and went berserk on Belvos. That incident occurred at the precise time I am accused of destructive acts there. Soon. Good. I see you have caught the criminal. Come. As a member of the Belvosian Grand Council, it is my duty to turn him over to the court that will try him. Don't forget us. You agreed that we could go along to testify to his character and achievements. Later, as Superman stands before the grim tribunal of another world. You will now see and hear all the evidence against you. We have documentary films of every moment you spent on Belvos. Let the evidence be displayed. The film begins, revealing one scene of destruction after another, and then none of our powerful weapons can harm him. It sure looks bad for Superman. Meanwhile, far out in space, my plan worked perfectly. Having Superman removed from Earth so that I can obtain the treasure that will make me master of all Belvos. I certainly was lucky when I found some rare pebbles on a distant asteroid. Using the radiant power of their refractive light, I made many incredible discoveries. I can conquer gravity, create a force field which will make me invulnerable to any weapon. With a few trusted followers, I can overcome any army. However, the radiant force in those stones burned itself out rapidly. I combed the universe for others, and finally, all the rare stones I need on that planet, with a radiant power so intense that they will last for years. But how can I get enough of them without being caught? I learned all about Earth and evolved a plan that was sure to succeed if I could get Superman out of the way. This image of a giant asteroid I am projecting seems to be hurtling toward Earth. When scientists see it, they're sure to send Superman after it. While he vainly searched in space for that non-existent asteroid, I disguised myself as him and on Belvos. Ha ha! No one is aware I'm using this tiny matter disruptor to make it appear as if I'm smashing the bridge with my bare hands. And they can't notice the aerojets that make me fly. Every detail was worked out brilliantly. Those are my friends firing harmless rays, making it seem I'm invulnerable. And while Chlor secretly lands on Earth, back on Belvos. Prisoner, you have seen the evidence. You committed those crimes, then left without a word of explanation. It was most fortunate that Chlor tracked you down. Something just occurred to me. I must speak to the judge at once. At that moment, some notorious criminals are after your exhibit of giant gems, sir. Since I can't devote all my time to guard them, I suggest you give them to me for safekeeping until I apprehend the thieves. Why, of course, Superman, and thanks. Moments later. Ha ha! Only Superman could have been trusted with such a large collection of the stones I need. I can leave now in complete safety. But as the cunning criminal speeds to his spaceship, you, in person. And here's something to remember me by. How did you guess the truth? Batman did. He realized from the pictures and evidence that Superman had never used his X-ray vision on Belvos, nor had its existence been mentioned. Yet, on the day you approached him, supposedly your first time on Earth, you knew about my X-ray vision, which I hadn't used at the time. Batman deduced then that you had been on Earth before, and the judge was as suspicious as he when he heard this. After Superman whisks the canny Chlor to Belvos. Thank you for catching the real criminal. If Superman wasn't apprehended, Chlor had convinced us to threaten Earth with retaliation. Well, I thank you too, sir. You arrested me and freed me both. Your two favorite heroes, Superman and Batman, with Robin the Boy Wonder, in one adventure together. This is my last chance to prove I belong on the Superman-Batman team. In this city of Kandor, we both have equal powers. If I can't help him fight a menace here, I'll resign. Poor Batman. He doesn't know I arranged a fake menace here for him to overcome, to build up his confidence. Part 1. Most legendary of cities is tiny Kandor, locked in the smallness to which it was doomed by Brainiac's shrinking ray. Superman has twice gone down to Kandor with Jimmy Olsen on vital missions, modeling themselves after Batman and Robin in their secret identities of Nightwing and Flame Bird. But now, fate decrees that the real dynamic duo descend there and destiny create the feud between Batman and Superman. Night over Gotham City, a vital Batman and Robin case reaches its climax. Stay in the Batplane, Robin. These crooks are dangerous. The thieves who stole the Army's new weapon secrets. We've cornered them, but they're desperate and will shoot to kill. At super speed, the Man of Steel streaks down to protect Batman. As your bullets can't hurt me, you may as well stop shooting. Superman! Superman! Batman's being hit by one of the bullets that bounced off you. Get him to the Batcave at once, Robin. I'll drop the crooks at police headquarters and join you. Soon, in the Batcave. I've given him first aid, but he isn't responding. That bullet must come out. He'll need an emergency operation, but no one must know Batman's out of action. Switch to your other identities and say that Bruce was shot in a hunting accident. So, it's millionaire Bruce Wayne who's rushed to surgery in an ambulance summoned by his young ward, Dick Grayson. Is he? Yes, Dick. I can see with my Superman X-ray vision that the operation was successful. Bruce will have to convalesce for a while, but he'll be all right. But days later, when Clark Kent visits Bruce, "You look fine, Bruce. You'll be fit to go into action with me again very soon." No, I'm resigning from the Batman-Superman team, and Robin with me. I'm not in your league, Clark. You're super, and I'm not. I'll always be a handicap to you because I'm just an ordinary human. You'll be better off on your own, not having to worry about rescuing Robin and me. That's nonsense. I won't let you break up our partnership. Minutes later, outside. I'm afraid you'll never talk him out of quitting the team. He's lost his morale. He's convinced you don't need him. Then I'll find some way to restore his morale. And after Clark Kent has switched to Superman, he consults his pal, reporter Jimmy Olsen. I'm certain Batman would get over his inferiority complex if he were my equal in everything. And there's one place on Earth where he would be, since I don't have superpowers there. Of course, the bottle city of Kandor. You'll work out some way to get Batman down there. Superman zooms with Jimmy to his secret fortress of solitude in the Arctic, where the bottle city of Kandor, a Kryptonian city reduced to tiny size, is kept. I'll need Kandorian help to work my plan, and my old friend Thanar, an official of Kandor, will surely aid me. I'll call him by monitor. Presently, the Kandorian official answers. Thanar, I must speak to you alone on an urgent matter. Of course, Superman. This is my brother, Janar, but he won't mind excusing us. Oh, well, if it's so secret, I'll leave. Thanar, I want you to create a fake menace in Kandor which Batman can help me battle without running any risk. I want you to use this secret of the metalloids from my trophies of Krypton. The metalloids? That secret of old Krypton hasn't been used for ages because it was too dreadful. But if it's only a hoax to make Batman look good, I'll cooperate. Soon afterward, when Bruce Wayne has returned home from the hospital. But you're completely recovered now, Bruce, and we should patrol Gotham City as Batman and Robin. Look, Ace wants to become Bat-Hound and go with us. I feel too low-spirited, Dick. Oh well, if you insist, we'll go down to the Batcave and change. But as they switch to the dynamic duo, it's Superman. I need the help of your detective skill, Batman. I'm worried about my fortress and want to put better locking devices on the doors. Jimmy Olsen is guarding it while I'm gone. With your superpowers, you shouldn't need my puny help. But of course I'll go, if you want me to. At super speed, the Man of Steel takes his two partners northward. Batman is listless, depressed. My scheme to build up his confidence in himself has got to work. But soon, Batman's study of the locks is interrupted by a distress alarm from Kandor. Superman, we need your help. The Metalloids, the crime scourge of ancient Krypton, have reappeared in Kandor. I'll come at once with all the help I can get. Benar is putting on a good act. The Metalloids were a terrible menace on ancient Krypton. I've got to go down to Kandor to answer this call, but I have no superpowers there. Will you and Robin help me and Jimmy down there, please? The last time I worked with you, I was worse than useless, but I can't refuse your request. The reducing ray will make us small enough to enter the bottle and go down into tiny Kandor. But you three must wear the gravity shoes I gave you to withstand the Kryptonian gravity there. To think, Batman and I are going into a city of old Krypton. Moments later. Quick! We must get the cork out of the bottle which contains Kandor before we're too small. And get ready to open your parachutes when we get inside. Then, down into the Kryptonian atmosphere of the miniature city. Keep together. I want us to land just outside the city itself. The city below. It's incredible. The only surviving city of Krypton. It's weird, beautiful, fantastic. It's all that, Batman, but don't forget we're here on a grave mission. And it will be as difficult for me here as for you, because in Kandor, which has Krypton's environment, I have no superpowers. Everything's different from Earth. The trees, the flowers, even the air. We'll go at once to the Night Cave, which Jimmy and I fitted up as Flamebird and Nightwing. That'll be our base here. Hurry. But as they move through the fantastic forest. Japers, what's coming through the forest? Sounds like a tank. I see it. Oh no, Batman, look, look. It's like a metal-bodied man, and it's smashing that tree with its hands. Look out, it's a Metalloid. This is the menace that's terrified Kandor, an ancient secret of Kryptonian science that turns human flesh into invulnerable metal. The Metalloid displays his tremendous strength. Of course, this really is my friend Thankar, who made himself into a Metalloid to start the fake menace as I requested, but he ought to be more careful. That tree he's swinging nearly hit us. We've got to get out of here, fast. Quick, Robin, tie your silk rope to your batarang. Here come the batarangs back, and each of our ropes is now around a tree on the other side. Superman, Jimmy, this is the only way to escape that metal monster. And swinging on the silken ropes. Look out! The thing is throwing that tree at us in its frustration. Thankar is definitely overdoing this fake menace I asked him to create, and I'll tell him so later. It almost looks real. Let's hurry to the Night Cave. soon at a secluded mansion on the edge of Kandor. This is Norcan of Kandor, who was my parents' friend years ago and is mine. Welcome, Superman. I've kept your night cave just as you left it. Batman and Robin enter an amazing hideout. Batman, we modeled the night cave, also our secret identities of Nightwing and Flamebird, and our Nightmobile after you and Robin. And this is Nighthound, one of the strange telepathic hounds of Kandor. Down, boy. Jimmy and I have to change for an urgent mission. We must calm the panic the Metalloid menace has aroused. While we're gone, Norcan can tell you the things you'll need to know here in Kandor. I understand. We'll be ready to help you in this emergency. And as the dynamic duo of Kandor speeds into Kryptonian City. Your scheme to restore Batman's morale is working, Superman. Did you see how fast he went into action when the Metalloid charged us? Yes, and that's good. But Thankar overdid the menace hoax and really endangered us all. Soon, in the heart of Kandor. Look, a Metalloid ripped open the Museum of Kryptonian History and looted its treasures. Nightwing and Flamebird, can you capture that terrible Metalloid? Why would Thankar do this? I'm going to see him and find out. You stay here and calm the people's fears. Soon, at the home of his Kandorian friend. I may have given Thankar a wrong impression about the hoax I wanted him to stage. He overdid it so much that Kandor is in panic. I'll switch to Superman and tell him to tame it down. Thankar, I'm glad I found you here. I want to tell you. But what are you doing? He's trying to kill me. Has the Metalloid secret gone to his head and turned him into a criminal? Back in the Night Cave, the Night Hound suddenly springs into action. Something's happened to Nightwing and Flamebird, and Night Hound, with his telepathic power, senses it. It must be something terrible. We'll have Night Hound lead us to wherever the trouble is. You and Robin couldn't keep up with Night Hound on foot, and the Nightmobile is gone. But these jet-powered flying belts used by Nightwing and Flamebird will speed you along. Their controls are simple. All right, let Nighthound out. There's not a moment to lose. And as the telepathic hound bolts out of the Night Cave, turn the altitude control up, Robin. Higher. I've got the hang of it now. Don't lose sight of Nighthound. He'll lead us to the danger. There's that Metalloid, and he's killing Superman. Our fists won't hurt him any more than Nighthound's teeth. Help me grab one of those big metal awning poles. This heavy metal pole has enough weight to knock him back. The monstrous metal antagonist gives way. He got more than he wanted that time. We can easily follow him and run him down. No, Superman may be dying. He looked bad. But Superman has already revived. Superman, I followed you here after I calmed the people down. You're sure putting on a realistic act to make Batman think he saved you from that fake Metalloid menace. Fake menace? So, you brought me down here by a hoax? And I can guess why. You thought you'd boost my morale by faking this mission, didn't you? Yes, Batman, I did. But this menace has somehow turned real. That Metalloid was killing me. You really saved my life. Honest. Please, listen, Batman, I'm telling the truth. Don't lie to me, Superman. Jimmy gave you away. I could stand it to be inferior to you, but I can't forgive your tricking me, making me a fake hero. I'm through with you, Superman. For good. End Part 1. Part 2. The people of Kandor have admired the team of Nightwing and Flamebird and have cherished the legend of the great detectives and crime fighters in the long ago days of ancient Krypton. But now, as Batman and Robin battle a mighty menace, Kandor beholds the flashing abilities of the Manhunters from Earth. This is like a nightmare. Batman has turned himself into a Metalloid, but it's the only way to defeat that creature. As Superman follows Batman. You've got to believe me, Batman. This began as a hoax, but it's now a real menace. I don't want any more false explanations. Now, please stop bothering me. But when Superman persists, I warned you, leave me alone. I never thought I'd see a situation like this. Batman's inferiority complex has made him lose his temper. Abruptly, a Kandorian official intervenes. Wait. If you two have a quarrel, you must settle it according to Kandorian tradition, in a fair duel in the arena. A duel, but I have no desire to kill Superman, no matter how shabbily he's treated me. We of Kandor are humane and don't fight to the death. Duels here are fought with swords that don't wound, only stun. All right, I'll have this out for good with Superman. I'm not in favor of it, but I must honor Kandorian tradition. Presently, in the ancient arena of Kandor, the two famous partners prepare to fight. If your force-charged sword touches your opponent, its force will temporarily stun him, and whoever is stunned loses the duel. The shields are of insulation material. It's sort of like touch football compared to real football, but I'm ready. The shining blades clash, and the strange battle is on. Even without your superpowers, you can beat him, Superman. And stunning Batman might bring him to his senses. He can't match your agility, Batman. Take him. Batman must win. If he should lose this duel, his inferiority complex could become permanent. Of the two duelists, one is at a psychological disadvantage. Batman is so angry at me. He's left an opening in his guard, but I can't muster myself to take advantage of it. Superman's hesitation is disastrous, for Batman uses all his brilliant acrobatic skill. And then, touché, Superman. Everything going black. I'm passing out. The Batman wins. Are you going to leave him there, Batman? Yes, Robin. Superman's not seriously hurt and will revive soon. It served him right for his hoax. Later, when Superman revives. I'm sorry, Superman, but Batman still believes the Metalloid menace is a hoax. It was supposed to be a hoax, but it isn't. For some reason, Thankar has gone berserk and become evil. We'll have to capture this Metalloid to convince Batman. Let's go back to Thankar's house. Shortly, outside Thankar's home. I couldn't find any clue in Thankar's house, and no one's there. Jimmy, as a Metalloid, he's very heavy. Maybe we can trail him wherever he went by his footprints. The trail leads into the weird jungle. We keep losing the trail on hard ground. If only you had your microscopic vision. But if we do find him, how can you, without super strength, fight him? The ancient Kryptonian wristlet he is wearing under his costume is what turned him into a mighty metalloid. If I remove that, he'll become an ordinary man again. Suddenly, a shattering surprise. Look out! There's not one metalloid, but 3 of them. Get away while you can, Jimmy, and tell Batman and Robin I'm in real trouble. You must convince them that they're my only chance. And as Jimmy flees, got to hold him while Jimmy gets away. Oh, my head! Soon, in the night cave, we only came here to return those flying belts. We're going to leave Kandor. You can't. Superman needs your help. He's a prisoner of the metalloids and is depending on you. Listen. Finally convinced of the reality of the menace, the dynamic duo acts swiftly. They've gone and taken Superman with them and took care to leave no trail this time. Maybe Nighthound can lead us to Superman by tuning in on his thoughts. Can you do it, boy? His telepathic power doesn't seem to work. Maybe it's because Superman is still unconscious. I've got an idea, Jimmy. We'll consult your crime file in the night cave and find out how the lawmen of ancient Krypton used to combat these terrible metalloids. Soon, in the night cave. You must know the Kryptonian language more fully. This high-speed teaching machine of theirs will make you learn it swiftly. Then we'll go through our crime file. These audio-visual tapes contain the history of criminology on Krypton before crime there became almost obsolete. The tape I'm putting on the projector tells of the methods used by the great Kryptonian detective Van Varro. Van Varro was a scientific sleuth who used an ingenious X-ray telescope to spot criminals. Kryptonian Police Headquarters, the criminal who raided the Museum of Jewels with a theft machine is hiding at 224 Solar Avenue. Then there was the great biologist detective, Tech Abbott, who ran down the thief who stole one of Krypton's sacred winged creatures. You're trapped, Lars Eden. If you'd known the life forms of Krypton as I do, you'd know that a winged one can always find its mate, which is how I found you. He's armed and took me by surprise. I've got to surrender. Many of Krypton's ancient crimes were solved not by a human sleuth, but by an ingenious machine known as the computer detective. From mathematically analyzing every clue in this room, I deduce that the thief who was here looks approximately like this. That's a picture of Bren Burr, a character we've long had under suspicion. We'll grab him fast. But it was Detective Abzorna who conquered the greatest crime menace in Krypton's history, the metalloids. Only one way to conquer a metalloid: removing from its wrist the force-radiating instrument which turned it into metal, so it'll become flesh and blood again. And the robot I built is strong enough to do that. It's winning. But we haven't time to build such a mighty robot with Superman a captive. Yet we have to rescue Superman somehow. Listen, that's the night alarm sounded by Kandorian police when there's an emergency. The metalloids must be striking again. Robin and I will go. You stay with Nighthound, Jimmy, for as soon as Superman recovers consciousness, Nighthound will sense his thoughts and lead you to him. Meanwhile, the Metal Terror strikes panic in Kandor. The metalloids are robbing the vault of scientific secrets! Its walls are invulnerable, but they're tipping it off its foundations. They'll loot our greatest secrets, and no one can stop them. And when the dynamic duo reaches the seed, they looted all the valuable secrets and went that way. No one, nothing could stop them. If only Nightwing and Flamebird were here instead of these two strangers. How can these two combat such a fearful menace? Undaunted, the greatest detectives from the outer world, Earth, hurtle into action. Batman, look out! They've spotted us following them and are going to throw big boulders at us. We've got to fool them into thinking we're done for. Let some rocks graze close to us, and we'll pretend we've been hit. As mighty missiles fly close, good boy, Robin. He's putting on a great possum act. Hope the Metalloids think we both be knocked down. But just before they reach the ground, now, pull your body up, Robin, and blast your jets to break your fall. Made it! But that was close. Our plan worked. The Metalloids think we're dead and won't be so careful hiding their footsteps now, but we have to trail them on foot. And I was just getting used to flying. Oh well. The trail leads the two great manhunters to... They're in there, Batman. But how can we ever get the forced wristlets off those mighty Metalloids? We'll climb up this cliff. I've got a plan. I'll need my hood and shirt to work it, but it doesn't matter if someone in Kandor sees me unmasked. Swift, silent preparations are made. This little stone I tossed down should bring one of them out to investigate. I hope this works, for we won't have another chance. As the Metalloid emerges to investigate, I've temporarily blindfolded the Metalloid. Now, Robin, here I come. The Boy Wonder swings swiftly and... The wristlet! I got it! I counted on his raising his hands to remove the blindfold. Now, without the wristlet's power, he'll change back to ordinary flesh. Swiftly, the change takes place. I got him tied up before he recovered from the shock of change. But the other two are coming, and we can't pull this trick again. Which is why I'm putting this thing on my own wrist to make myself a Metalloid. An incredible change takes place in moments. This is like a nightmare. Batman's flesh has turned to living metal. As the other two Metalloids approach... Now, if I can get the wristlet off that Metalloid while he's falling and is off balance... Securing the wristlet, Robin uses it. What a sensation! I feel powerful, mighty, but I must help Batman. Next moment, a Robin Metalloid joins a Batman Metalloid in the fray. Now, with my tremendous strength, I can tear the wristlet off the third crook while Batman holds him. Moments later, when the three criminals had been made normal and secured, the dynamic duo also returns to normal. Nighthound found the telepathic trail for me, which means Superman must have regained consciousness. But you two seem to have everything cleaned up. Superman must be in that cave, tied up, when Superman is released. Great work, Batman. The loot of the Metalloids is all in the cavern. But this ex-Metalloid is Janar, the brother of my friend Thanar. Yes, I overheard you tell my brother you'd give him the wristlet so that he could stage a fake Metalloid menace. I took the wristlet from him and duplicated it. I've kept him drugged. Later, after the thieves had been brought to justice and Thanar found and revived... But won't you and your great friend stay in Kandor, Superman? Not this time. Frankly, without my superpowers, I had a rough time this trip and will be glad to get back to Earth. And soon, coming up out of Kandor and making themselves normal-sized once more. My head still aches. I'm not used to being conked that way. Batman, Are you convinced now you really did save me? Yes, Superman, and you saved me from the complex that was getting me down. I'll never forget it. The Green Arrow. Startling headlines. Green Arrow and Speedy revealed as Oliver Queen and Roy Harper. Thus is the world's greatest secret finally exposed when the battling bowmen go into action as the Unmasked Archers. Our last arrow. We'll fire it to stop the getaway car, then end our careers as Green Arrow and Speedy. Yes, with our secret identities exposed, we're useless against criminals. In swift pursuit of a gangland car, Green Arrow takes aim and... Our last arrow, Speedy. Our last case. Yes, finished, GA. What is behind this strange talk? Why are the famed twanging bows to be silenced forever? To learn the answer, we must go back to the previous day, when wealthy Oliver Queen was leaving his club. Don't forget tomorrow's meeting, Oliver. We'll be announcing the new club officers. Haha. Hope I'm not saddled with the entertainment committee again. Early the next morning, just as Oliver and his young ward, Roy Harper, finished breakfast. Hey, look, Oliver, the arrow signal. Yes, our call from police headquarters. Into your costume, Roy. But a moment later, as their eyes caught the morning newspaper. Roy, look at that headline. Post-Herald, Bulletin, Green Arrow and Speedy identified, two and the same. Playboy, Oliver Queen, and Ward Roy Harper. It's all here, in black and white. Our secret is out. Well, what'll we do now? Only one thing we can do. Answer this last call, then hang up our crime-fighting costumes for good. Shortly, as the sleek arrow car sped them to the site of a bank holdup. The crooks used smoke bombs. Quickly, Speedy, the fan arrows. Zipping about, the amazing arrows quickly dispelled the fumes. It's Green Arrow. He's cleared the smoke away with trick arrows. Well, let's run for it. Maybe we can lose him in traffic. But as the car roared away, we shouldn't have trouble trailing them with a fountain pen arrow, the unique missile wrapping itself around the car's rear bumper with its point dragging the street left a flowing trail of ink, which led the archers to this grim moment when they fired their last shaft. Blasted! An arrow got our tire, and here comes a squad car. We're trapped. And as the police took over, let's go, Speedy. The commissioner must be waiting to see us. Yes, by now everybody in town has seen the papers and knows who we are. Soon after, in police headquarters. Well, Commissioner, have you anything to say to us before we hang up these costumes forever? Oliver Queen, Roy Harper, what are you doing in those outfits? Going to a masked ball? It's a nice joke, Oliver, but really, I've got work to do now. Maybe I'll see you later at the club. I want to be in on the initiation of the new club officers. Initiation? Yes, maybe we will see you later. Toward nightfall, when the unmasked archers return to their secret arrow cave. No wonder the commissioner thought this was a joke. Look at all these other newspapers. Not a single story about our real identities. We've been fooled. Fooled? How? I'm certain that I'd been elected to a new post at the club, and the newspaper revealing our true identities was a gag, part of my initiation. Oh, and we've already unmasked just because a trick newspaper was printed up. But wait, they didn't believe us. Maybe it's okay. I wish it were that simple, but now they might begin getting ideas. So we've got to figure out a way of convincing them that it was a joke. The question is, how? Let's see. We've got the boxing glove arrow, the fountain pen arrow, the balloon arrow, which we can make into any shape, and... Oh, the phone's ringing upstairs in the house. We'd better take it on the extension.
Oliver, this is the Commissioner. If you still want to play Green Arrow, there's a robbery going on. Green Arrow will be there in person to watch your act.
Sure, Commissioner. Some joke. After getting the facts. Robbery? Where? A modern Jesse James has held up a train carrying gold bullion. We can be out there in a few minutes, and so will the police, as they speed to the scene. Here's our problem. We've got to convince the police that we're still carrying out our joke, while at the same time, we stop those crooks. I get it. In real action, we'll have to look bad with our bows, yet be good enough to nail the train robbers. This will be tough. Upon reaching the train. I don't see Green Arrow yet, Oliver, but my men have the crooks hemmed in around the train. Care to try your skill on the bow? All right, here's my chance to, prove that I'm Green Arrow. Just then, however, oh, great guns. There are the crooks. They've got the conductor, holding him as hostage. Green Arrow will fix that. Watch. But in plenty of time, the robbers scramble back as the arrow misses by yards. Come on, Buster. We're beating it around to the other side of the train. I don't know who the character is with the bow, but he's just liable to get a lucky shot in. Well, good try, Oliver, but don't worry. My men will handle them, even if Green Arrow doesn't appear. But nobody sees the arrow that missed as it suddenly pinwheels up into the air, and then on the other side of the train opens up into a net. Hey, what happened? We're caged. We got a break. Green Arrow appeared from nowhere and nailed them with his famous net arrow. See? Didn't I tell you I was Green Arrow? Now, Oliver, you simply won't get away with it. There goes Green Arrow. He's flying off in his aeroplane. Oh, I didn't notice. I guess that's the end of my little, joke, Commissioner. But how is this illusion possible? The answer lies back in the arrow cave. A while later. While you held the Commissioner's attention, I was able to get the balloon arrow off in time. I shaped it like the aeroplane, and that's exactly what it looked like up against the moon. And it took us off the hook, Speedy. A real big hook. We're back in business again, as usual. Superman and Batman and Robin in one adventure together. When a dark and evil plot reaches across space to Earth, it powerfully affects the lives of Earth's greatest heroes, Superman and Batman. For Superman becomes a doomed prisoner, and Batman becomes the ruthless and tyrannical warden of the prison for heroes. With my super strength gone, I can't carry this boulder. But Batman's force ray will lash me harder if I drop it. Move faster, Superman, or you'll feel the force ray again. You're not invulnerable now. Ha ha! One day, millionaire Bruce Wayne, who is secretly Batman, hears an unearthly sound. A strange humming sound from the Batcave. It can't be Robin, for he's at school as Dick Grayson. I'd better switch and investigate. Quickly becoming the cowled crime fighter, he descends to the Batcave to see. It looks like a humming, whirling ball of force, and it's speaking to me telepathically. Don't be alarmed, Batman. This sphere is an instrument of pure energy from far across space. You're urgently needed in a conclave of heroes of many worlds, meeting on a far planet to face a great emergency. Enter this sphere and it will take you there. This is incredible, but if I'm greatly needed, I've got to answer this call. You are now protected from airless space and can hurtle across the void. Then, rocketing at terrific speed out of the Batcave. I'm leaving Earth's atmosphere, yet I feel no cold, and I can breathe. In an incredibly short time. It's a forbidding world the sphere has brought me to. That great, grim building looks almost like a prison. It's the greatest maximum security prison in the universe, Batman, and in it are imprisoned the heroes of different worlds. And you, Batman, are going to be the strict warden of this prison of heroes. That's the real reason you were brought here. You know every security measure, every escape trick in the book. Whoever operates this energy sphere lied to me, tricked me that it'll gain them nothing. I'll never act as prison warden if the prisoners here are innocent men. Next moment, you're changing, Batman. You're becoming ruthless, merciless, changing. It's trying to hypnotize me, but it won't work. Hypnosis can't make a person do something contrary to his normal nature. But this is super hypnotism of a kind and power no Earthman has ever faced before. You'll obey my commands now, Batman. You'll guard the captive heroes as warden, and you'll lure Superman, the greatest of all heroes, to be imprisoned here also. We prepared things so he'll have no superpowers on our world. Yes, I'll do it. I'll be tough with these prisoners, and with Superman too. When I get him here, it's my duty. Unaware of how his personality has been changed, a grim Batman begins his ruthless role. The warden's office would be in that guard tower. I'll inspect the security arrangements first. These force rays are just what I need to enforce prison discipline. And with that radio transmitter, I can get Superman here. Soon, on faraway Earth, a giant radio telescope designed to study far stars picks up an unexpected signal. But, Dr. Marlin, This radio signal from Star XD 919 is saying in Morse code, Batman calling Superman. It's impossible. But you're right. Take down the message. Code word CKBW. Code word CKBW. Shortly, when a teletype bulletin reaches the Metropolis Daily Planet, reporter Clark Kent, who is secretly Superman, gets a shock. Batman calling Superman for help. Code word CKBW. Aw, it has to be a fake. How could Batman reach a distant planet? It's not a fake. Only Batman knows our secret identity initials as Clark Kent and Bruce Wayne. I'd better change to Superman fast. Moments later, at the Radio Astronomical Observatory. The radio telescope fixed the direction the message came from. It's from Star XD 919. And I can see with my telescopic vision that that's a yellow sun, and not a red one, which would deprive me of my powers. There's nothing to stop me. I'll answer Batman's call fast. Fast for the mighty Man of Steel means super fast, soon far across space. It is Batman. But how did he get marooned on this faraway world? Batman, I got your message for help, but how did you ever get here? As warden of this prison where you'll be confined, I'll ask the questions, and I'll give the orders. Into the prison. March. His whole personality has changed. He's become grim and domineering. And how does he expect to make a prisoner of me when I have superpowers? But at that moment, a terrible phenomenon occurs. Great Krypton, the yellow sun here suddenly turned red. How is it possible? Now I get it. Somehow, by remote control, a huge filter has been projected into orbit around this world. The filter changes the sun rays from yellow to red. Under these red rays, my superpowers are almost entirely gone. I have only weak super breath and supervision. So the filter must be at least 99% effective. My super strength, speed, and invulnerability are gone. Next moment. You're just another prisoner here now, Superman. March. That flash of force hurts. He can't do that to me. Even without my superpowers, I'll bet I can take him. But as Superman prepares to leap at Batman, come on and try it, prisoner. I want you to try it. How do you like the Force Ray? Can't face this burning, stinging lash. It's too much for me. The once mighty Man of Steel becomes a cowed and driven man. Ha ha! You're learning, prisoner. You've got a lot to learn here, and you'll find I'm a good teacher. It's like a bad dream, a nightmare. Shortly, the captive heroes from other worlds greet Superman. We were tricked into an energy sphere and brought here and imprisoned too. I'm Electric Man. I can generate terrific electric current, but the methyl vapors in this atmosphere short-circuit me.
And I, Balloon Man, can superinflate my lungs and fly, but the same vapors inhibit my superpower.
I'm the Freezer. On my world, I could freeze anything instantly, but it's so much warmer here that my power won't work. And yet it's too cold here for me. I'm the Flame, and on my super hot planet, I could melt anything, but not here.
You'll find this Batman a terrible, cruel warden. He enjoys slave driving and gives us our rations only once a day.
And then nothing but a little bread and water? I can't believe it. A moment later, I overheard what you said, Superman. Since bread and water doesn't please you, you'll get neither today. Batman, you wouldn't do that. I'm vulnerable now. I need food and water. On Earth, the Batman was my friend and a great champion of the law. But somehow, his whole personality has been distorted. But who has done this to all of us? Who trapped us here, and why? We've never learned who's behind this. You were all champions of justice on your worlds, as Batman and I were on Earth. Whoever's behind this could have imprisoned us here to get us out of the way before they raid and loot our worlds. We have to escape. You'll find escape impossible with Batman as warden. Next morning at daybreak. Prisoners, out. Here's where it begins. Another day of toil. Did you expect to lie around in idleness all day, Electric Man? Faster! There must be some way to escape this nightmare. But how? No loafing, Superman. You'll split rock like the others or feel the force ray again. These crowbars are purposely made so heavy we can hardly lift them and can't use them to throw at him. After hours of toil under the scorching red sun rays, get into that cavity and dig out rock from it. But it looks unsafe. Even with my weakened X-ray vision, I can see it is unsafe, but I mustn't let him suspect I have even a trace of my powers. When a warden gives orders, you don't argue. You obey. Can't stand more of that force ray. I have to risk it. But a few minutes later, the whole rock above me is splitting into fragments. Have to get out of here fast, but it's too late. Batman, I'm pinned down. Help me out. Please try to remember our friendship. If only I can get through to the real Batman, it's my only chance. Your own clumsiness got you into this mess, prisoner. Get yourself out. I can't get through to him. There's nothing left in him of the real Batman. He has no human emotions or pity or decency. And now, for the first time in my life, I hate the Batman. End Part 1. Part 2. Superman has suffered greatly at the hands of his former friend and partner, Batman. But is it possible that even this could make the Man of Steel become cruel and vengeful? You're in for a shock when the tables are suddenly turned and Batman becomes the victim of the revenge of Superman. Move, Batman! Keep breaking those rocks or you'll feel a full charge of the force ray. You're going to suffer as you made me suffer. This ball and chain is weighing me down. Have mercy, Superman. As Superman, trapped, struggles vainly. We'll dig you out, Superman. Thanks. You're real friends. Moments later. Since they're your friends, Superman, you won't mind doing all their work on the rock pile as well as your own. Get busy. But he can't possibly do it all. At least let us split some of the rock for him. You heard your orders. Sit there and watch. The great Superman, who's so strong, can easily do it all. As Superman toils with waning strength. Only my weak remaining supervision is of any help. With my X-ray vision, I can see where the rocks are cracked and split them more easily, but I can't go on much longer. Finally, the sun sets on an exhausted Superman. Back to your cells, march. No lagging, Superman. You didn't like bread and water, Superman. Remember? So you get none until you beg for it. I'll never beg you for anything, Batman, but my time will come. Superman, take this water while he's not looking. But suddenly, ouch! Now both of you can go thirsty tonight. Ha ha ha! Batman will slave drive us to death if this goes on. If I only had my superpowers again. Even on this world of a red sun, there may be a way. That night, as an evilly altered Batman gloats in the Bard Warden's office. Tomorrow, Superman will be even weaker from lack of food and water, and I'll show him what real discipline means. But there's someone outside my door. Superman, you broke the metal bar across the door. How could you do that? Or get out of your cell? I got my superpowers back, Batman, and now for a reckoning with you. You're through with that force ray, Batman. I don't believe you. You couldn't have superpowers now that the sun of this world shines with red rays. But you must have super strength, for I feel helpless, numb, cold in your grasp, but how? I'll only shut off his breathing with this wrestling hold long enough to make him unconscious. I've got plans for Batman. Next morning. It's my turn to give the orders now, Batman. March. You can't blame Superman for being so vengeful after what he suffered. In the quarry, under the red sun rays, but I can't work on this steep cliff with the ball and chain dragging me down. Either work or feel the force ray, I don't care which. We don't blame you for wanting revenge after the way he treated you, but this is going too far. He made me suffer, and he's going to suffer in return. He works up there all day. And when the terrible day's task ends, I wrecked the cell door locks when I escaped, but I guess this bigger metal ball I made for your chain will keep you from running away. Ha ha! I can't even budget. He did get his superpowers back, or he couldn't have lifted this colossal weight. Hidden in a crack in the masonry wall nearby, a monitor eye has watched, and that monitor has transmitted all that it has seen and heard across space. On the planet Vor, alien eyes have watched through the monitor. Your device to remove Superman's powers has failed, Waraj. He has his powers again. It's impossible, Your Majesty. He could not have superpowers on a world with a red sun. I studied him like the others before setting this trap. How can we, Vorians, carry out our planned conquest of many worlds unless the powerful heroes of those worlds are safely imprisoned? I'll go at once with my assistant to the prison planet, Your Majesty, and make sure those prisoners don't escape that world. And as two alien scientists prepare to depart. The preparations for galactic conquest are ready, but this may delay it. And my plan went so well till now, Our force spheres brought the tricked heroes to the prison. Batman was super hypnotized to be their ruthless warden, and mighty Superman was stripped of his powers. How could he regain them? When the small Vorian spaceship lands on the prison planet, I was a faithful warden of the prison here until Superman turned the tables on me. Please, cut off this chain. I'll cut the chain, but where's Superman? There he is, flying, as he and the other former prisoners make me toil here. I'm exhausted, can't stand. Remain here, and we'll get these escaped prisoners under control. Soon. There he comes, Waraj. Our force rays will have no chance against his superpowers. I still say he can't have superpowers in this red sunlight. He's faked them somehow. I'm going to call his bluff. He recoils from the force ray in pain. He's not invulnerable. He was bluffing. Don't use that ray on me. It's too agonizing. Tell me how you faked the regaining of your superpowers, or the lash will fall on you again. I'll tell. Don't use that thing. It was an attempt on my part to bluff everyone into thinking I was super again. I had only weak super breath and supervision, but I planned to use my fellow prisoners' powers to pretend I had superpowers. But I can't generate any electric power, Superman. As I told you, my dynamo power is short-circuited by the metal vapors in this world's atmosphere. Such heavy metal vapors would not be in the higher atmosphere. I'll use super breath to draw down pure air from the stratosphere. My drawing down pure, cold stratosphere air gave Electric Man a chance to use his unique power. Look, I'm generating terrific current. It's burning out all the electric cell door locks. Now I'll go after Warden Batman and convince him I've my superpowers back. The flame and the freezer can help me. My remaining heat vision warmed the chilled flame enough to use his power of melting anything. He's melting the metal bar inside the door. In a moment, it will be so weak, I'll be able to burst through it, and it will see I did so by my super strength. Before bursting in, I use super breath again to draw down more icy stratosphere air so that the freezer outside the little window could use his power. My power to freeze will make Batman feel weak, numb, frozen, so that Superman's normal strength will seem super strong to him. To carry out the bluff, I later had Balloon Man wear my cloak so it would seem I was flying. The pure air Superman drew down for me made it possible to use my power of superinflation, which the metallic vapors had prevented. I must try to look like Superman flying. But how could you lift that giant metal ball you put on Batman's chain? Answer, or I'll use the lash. I have to confess, that big metal ball was a fake I made. It's hollow and weighs only a few pounds. But through our monitor, we saw that Batman couldn't budge the giant metal ball. That means that Batman, by that time, was also faking. Then he must be in league with Superman, and we left him there by our spaceship. Quick, back to the ship. But in the meantime, Batman has acted. Minutes before, I've got to carry out my part of the plan while those aliens are occupied with Superman. Their spaceship is the only chance. Batman, after swift study of the controls, sets them so the ship takes off. I set its course carefully. If I erred, we won't get another chance. The little ship flies off on a collision course toward the sun ray filter. And with the alien sun ray filter destroyed, Batman used our ship to destroy the sky filter. Now in yellow sunlight, Superman has all his powers again. But Batman was super hypnotized to be evil. Yes, but when I had rendered him unconscious, I built and used a super dehypnotizing device of ancient Kryptonian science on him. As he came to, you will become yourself again, Batman. Kind, brave, the champion of law. Why, what happened to me? I had a dream. I dreamt I was vicious and cruel, even to you. But I'm awake now. And then Batman and I made our plans. By X-ray vision, I discovered a hidden monitor in the prison, by which whoever set this trap watches. If I pretend I regained superpowers and slave drive you, the plotters will come to see what went wrong with their trap. And we can use their ship to destroy their sun filter. Pour on the cruel treatment. I can take it. I'll take those rays, which can't hurt me now. Then I'm flying to your world, and I'll smash all your preparations for galactic conquest. We tricked them here, but now we're out-tricked. Our great conquest will never take place. Later, after he has destroyed the ships and arms of Vor, Superman returns and... Can you others hear my radio? The spacesuits Superman made work fine. He'll take us each back to his own world. And he left those alien plotters here on the prison world. Marooned here. They're the prisoners now.